Hello, and welcome back to 321 Adam. I'm your host Adam, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about the movie from Marvel Studios, Eternals. First of all, before I get into what I think of this movie and my personal review of it, I'm going to ask you guys a question here. Marvel Eternals. Why? Why? I didn't understand why. And maybe this is all part of Marvel Studios phase, whatever we're in for. Three or four, I think we're in now. This next wave of movies, wave of money grab. And I think that, to me, I sit down and I watch this on Disney Plus and I'm watching it and I'm thinking, what does this have to do with anything? And because it has nothing to do with anything, it kind of felt like a standalone movie. So maybe it's a standalone movie, maybe it's not. But to me, it was a stinker. I just, not interested, not into it, just no point. Like, no point, like, at all. Like, the characters in this are not likable. If you don't have a likable character, you don't have a good movie. The villain in this movie was like one of the Eternals, one of these protectors of the galaxy. But then these protectors of the galaxy don't kind of step in and help. So this whole raging war with Thanos or whoever, Ultron, whatever, all those movies we saw in these last 15 years, where were they? Like, I'm confused. Like, what is their point? They fight mystical creatures from other planets, but we don't get involved in things that are going on in the planets known to the rest of the Avengers, but they're not Avengers, but they're better than Avengers, so they're stronger, but they're not strong enough to do that, but they have to stand and watch from a distance, but then they step in when they feel need. It's just like, it's like a rubber band ball. Like, what's the point? Like, it's just too much. Like, it just wasn't needed. It's not needed in the story of the Marvel Universe, MCU. Like, to me, this is the biggest stinker, I think, since the Hulk movies. So bad that it's just going to be a write-off, I feel like. It's just not even going to be anything. Everything about this movie was terrible. When I asked people, leading up to me watching it on Disney Plus, have you seen this Eternals movie by Marvel? I mean, they've been jamming it down my throat on these paid commercials on YouTube. And people are like, nah, I'm just not really interested. So for it to really not be interested, that people that like Marvel, if you love Marvel and you're not interested, someone who's not interested into Marvel, and I mean like a casual fan, what's the point? Like, there's no point to watch it. Then, somehow, some way, you go, I'll give it a shot. So you put it on, and you're 10 minutes in, you're like, okay. You're 20 minutes in, you're like, alright. You're half hour in, you're like, alright. You're 45 minutes in, you're like, yeah, I think I have to go do dishes or something. And then somehow you fight through all that, and you're an hour and a half in, you're like, damn, an hour and a half I just wasted of my life. I'm never going to get that back. I think I'm just going to go do the damn dishes now. And then you get up, you do the dishes, and it's kind of on in the background. You're kind of peeking in and out, and then you come back for the end because that's just the type of person I am. And I peek in at the end, and I'm just like, okay, so it's just senseless, nonsense, post-production action. Yeah, okay. That's how I felt. I felt like watching that movie was like, I just had the most spiciest, like I had a ghost pepper. And then going in the bathroom, that's what it felt like watching Marvel Eternals. It was just terrible. It was pointless. There was no need to do it. But somehow you did it. And for a lot of people are going to end up watching this movie just like that. Because it's on Disney Plus, because it's a Marvel movie, and because you're paying for Disney Plus, you're like, meh, it's there. I'm going to give it a shot. And you might make it, but you might not. And that's kind of the lesson here, is that if you like senseless action movies with no sensible plot and no real connection to anything, sure, why not? But to me, the one thing that lost it for me is you don't even have characters you like. They're not likable. You know, when you put on a bad movie with Tommy Lee Jones in it, you're like, it's Tommy Lee Jones. I'm getting Tommy Lee Jones action movie. You know what you're getting. If the movie's terrible and the plot's terrible, you're like, it's a Tommy Lee Jones movie. It's kind of the same thing. It's a Sylvester Stallone movie. I'm going to watch it. It's a Dolph Lundgren. I'm going to watch it. You know, if you like an actor, you don't, no matter what. You love Arnold, you love Arnold. There's nothing more to it. You know, to me, that was the reason why this film bombed. Because the characters were unlikable. And I'm not saying they have to have someone that is well known. You know, these are just examples. I'm not saying there's someone that's well known to sell this movie, but who wrote these characters, or if they, you know, these are all from comic books, just not likable at all. Like, just meh. Like, there's nothing about these characters that really says, yeah, I feel like that I share that same kind of moral theme with that person. And you just watch it and you're just like, meh. It's just like pointless. Stinker. So, my review of Marvel's Eternals, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. This is a flop. A big flop. 2 out of 10. I'll give it 2 just because of the cool post-production action scenes. You know, a low-budget movie can't do those nice things. It's a high-budget movie. It was able to do it. 2 out of 10. Not watchable in its entirety. Terrible movie. You know, I'd say skip it. I'd say skip a lot of these new Marvel stuff. I say just rewatch Iron Man 2. Enjoy it for what it was. It's a quality movie. And that's pretty much it, you know. We grew to love Iron Man. Just enjoy Iron Man. Let's not try to do too much here. That's today's episode of 321 Adam. If you like the video, like, subscribe. You have any comments you think I'm wrong? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. I love to hear it. And I'll see you next time on 321.